That's the wrong scene. This is a good start. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Final Fantasy D12, the Stunt Spectacular, wherein I play the first 12 mainline Final Fantasy games, except that 11 is 10-2 because 11 doesn't work for the format. And we switch between games randomly after each battle where we can access the menu afterwards. That's it. And today, because I found that I need something to talk about during this, I'm going to be talking about why I quit Patreon. I resolved to do it back in August when they announced that they are forcing everyone to do a certain payment method because basically Apple told them to. And I finally said, nope, can't do it anymore. Can't do it as a creator because they're just going to keep moving things around on me. And because I can't do it as a creator, I do not have the income to do it as a patron either. And I want to talk more about that. But before I get too in-depth in it, I want to start this because otherwise I'm just going to talk about it the whole time. And I was right. It's Final Fantasy VIII is what we're starting with. Oh, where am I going? We're in the base. Potion up. Cure up. Sure. Why not? I think we were going this way. So, Patreon. All systems go, sir. Everything's all set, sir. We had some minor setbacks, but proceed as scheduled. We're running behind, but prepare for the final launch phase. Roger, roger. Attention, this is the control room. We are now entering the final phase of the missile launch. Take your designated positions and prepare for the launch. Yeah, bring it on! Okay, this battle's gonna take forever. How dare you interfere with our plans? Maybe that's a bit too much. Well, what's done is done. Up yours! We're gonna screw up this plan of yours. I never had a Patreon patronage that was over $50 a month. Time for us to get serious. I started in 2017, and it hit its peak in 2022-ish, and then it just started going down. And I think part of that is that I started getting myself caught up in, I'm not going to do some things. Are they from Garden? Or are they Dancer? I'm not going to do some things that are giving more like behind the scenes access because I only want to give that to the Patreon pals. And I have too many things I want to say at once, but one of them is there is no automatic expectation that just because you do something artistically, no matter how good it is, that it will receive an audience, let alone a paying audience. And I have seen that equation so many times as both an audience member and as a creator. I can see it right now. And let me trace back my train of thought. Ugh, Captain. But there's no, even though there's no expectations that you'll find success, I could feel that having the Patreon up was putting a hamper on my creativity. We'll continue this after this dialogue section. Okay then, let's stop the missiles and blow the base to smithereens and then get out of here. We should be able to stop the missile launch from here. I think we should split up and look. I don't think it's this one. Where are you going? We're still not done searching. I don't think this is it, which means... Yo, look, I found it. Oh yeah, we're all set, baby. Woohoo! All we need to do now is find the self-destruct mechanism. The self-destruct mechanism doesn't seem to be in here. Hey, this is the self-destruct mechanism for the base. Oh, shoot. Let's see here. I need to access the menu. We have to set a time. 40 minutes. Let's see here. Don't get another battle. 40 minutes. Let's hurry on out of here. Almost forgot that I'm supposed to quit. I don't want to appear... I want to make sure that I am making it clear that I am not trying to dissuade anyone from being on Patreon, either as a patron or as a creator. What I am saying is that in my experience, being on the site for 7 years, unless you know that you're going to get 100+ people who want to give you money every month, there are going to be some just awkward parts of it. Like, you'll get a fairly decent chunk of the money, although not so much anymore because they've changed how the plans work, but that's its own story. The issue is that when Patreon first launched, they had it so that, and I've said this multiple times in various places, but when Patreon first launched, one of the big things about it was you are paying Patreon the sum total of the pledges you have made. So let's say you're backing one person for $20 a month because you really like what they're doing, someone else for $10, someone else for $5, someone else for $1. Patreon would then take those $36 and be like, okay, cool, we're going to divvy this cash up, and you don't have 4 separate credit card transactions. You get 1 credit card transaction. And Patreon is now making it so that you cannot do that anymore. They did make it for a while that you could choose
all yours, Yuna. Where are you going?
To have new patrons pay as soon as they sign up, so that they couldn't just join, see all of your stuff, and then quit. And also so that, like, if they joined on the 29th, they wouldn't only get 2 months of patronage and then have to pay as much as someone who got the full month's worth. Which I get, but also I guess my hope is that if you are willing to sign up for someone's Patreon, that you're not going to care if you get charged a little bit sooner than other people. But I guess that is not what makes money for Patreon. And so they now make it so that coming in November 25, two big issues. One, you have to have it where they pay as soon as they sign up, and then they're paid that day of the month going forward. I assume that if it's the 31st, then they just move it around to the 30th or whatever. But they also made it so that a lot of people... Oh, we got a cutscene. What a thrill. Solid Snake or Snake did a lot of crawling in that game too. It's not over yet. But they made it so that something that has been a long-standing, what was that noise? Staple of Patreon is you only pay when I make something. There's gotta be some kind of control panel that changes the missile's target. We have to do something or else it's all over. We gotta go back. We gotta do this. Hey, why won't it open? Come on, hey! I think I know where it is, but I'm just checking in here. I got 40 minutes. 40 minutes is basically an eternity. While changing screens? Okay. Sure. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Button. Button. I'm reaching the point where I think I am going around in circles about it. But it just feels like I never really clicked with Patreon. I found enough people that it was worth my while to keep making things on there and keep up a presence on there, but oh god, Rune Blade. That's the same. Anyone else using a sword these days? Nope. Okay. A sword that is effective against spellcasters. Alright. But yeah, if I peaked on Patreon 3 years ago, and it is making me feel bad to stay on the platform with all the changes that they've enacted, it would be silly of me to stay on the platform. Which is a shame, because I really admire what I perceive to be the initial goal of Patreon, which is to create a place to foster a sense of community on an internet that is becoming less and less interested in supporting such a thing, in my opinion. Because the cynical way to look at it is Patreon is just a way for people who make things to make money off of their audience. And I am afraid that is what it is becoming. And I don't think that's what it was when it started. Or at least that wasn't my perception, and that wasn't the perception that I got from other people who were using it. And I use this now. Oh dear. Can I just go that way now? I can't make that jump. Where's number one?
Bring it, punk.
Try a level one.
Dance, flames.
Ooh, not very good.
Dance, flames.
The other thing about Patreon, speaking of what it states it wants to be and what it actually is, Jack Conte, the CEO of the company, put out this big video, I think it was earlier this year, that was like, Patreon is going to be the new hub that does everything. It's where people connect, and it's going to do all this stuff, which maybe for some people that's their experience with the service. Not for me. I always struggled mightily to get any sort of like community connection in the comment section on my posts, because again, if you don't have that big audience, it feels real awkward to be the one person who's commenting on the posts when there's no one else there. And so it's just, I feel like Patreon tried to be a thing, specifically a big community in which smaller communities can thrive, but it never, I don't want to say it never put in the work, but the work that it may have put in never paid off sufficiently for that to be what it was for me while I'm here. And I haven't seen anyone who's like, you know where my community is strongest is in the comment section on my Patreon posts. If anything, it's, oh, we got this suggestion for this in the comments on one of our Patreon posts, but it's never the central hub of the community, which I think is what they want to be, but they do not have either the social capital for that or the site infrastructure for that / app infrastructure. The app is better than it was, but it's not great. Like, there was a time, not like immediately after the app launched or anything, but I would try and write a post and it would just eat up so much RAM, I guess, maybe CPU, that like I would type something into the keyboard and it would take 5 seconds for it to appear on the screen. It was bad. Like, I would type a letter and just be like, let me think about this one. Yes, that was an E. And it is better than that now, but it is not an app that when I think, ooh, where am I going to go and chat with this community of fans, it's not on my top 10 list. Alright, we're doing lightning.
Good day.
Good day, Shalinda.
Is it true? I heard that
Yes.
Master Seymour and Lady Yuna are to be wed. It's such great news. I have to tell everyone.
Where'd you hear that?
From the Guado. They were all very excited.
I'm afraid you
Yeah.
heard a little wrong. Yuna's gonna turn him down.
Oh, really?
Evens, second one, odds the first one. Odd.
I see. That's
No wedding.
unfortunate. Well, I'm sure that people would have rejoiced all over Spira.
Just shuffle everyone in and out. Okay, that is water. I was like, is that water? And yes, the ice is the white.
Be quiet.
Try it. Good. Ooh, can't do a dang thing. There we go. Ability sphere, I'm gonna use it before I forget. Who's gonna use it though? Waka just needs the one and he has so many levels. Sleep attack's pretty good too. Should've just done that. Nah, I couldn't have known. hit the button. All right.
Yeah.
Oofa doofa. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about Patreon. Nice. Early on, it did help give me a sense of, oh, there are people out there who want to, who see the things I make and say, I want to give you money because of that. Not enough to keep me on that platform, but a non-zero amount, and I'm very grateful for, good grief, very grateful for that.
No problem. Yeah. Yeah.
Or this is not the one where I'm lost. 5 is the one where I'm lost and I didn't look up a map. Bigger picture. Thinking about the old internet that we're on. The reason I started on Patreon, the thing I was making that I was mostly promoting on Patreon, I guess is a better way to put it, were my webcomics. And when I first started making them, I was like, oh, Project Wonderful is going to be a great way for me to both get my comics out there and also maybe get a little bit of cash from the people who want to advertise their comics next to mine. If you don't know, Project Wonderful, I believe, was the idea of Ryan North of Dinosaur Comics and other very many comics things fame. And like a month or two after I started my first webcomic, I saw, oh, Project Wonderful, it's just not sustainable, we're shutting it down, can't keep it going. And I was just like, but my comic. But my comic? Now what am I supposed to do? And Patreon was not an ideal replacement for that, but it was sort of a replacement for that. And so at least it gave me something. And now I am talking in circles because what it is going to just keep coming back to is I felt like Patreon was going to give a sense of community that it never gave. And that's a bummer. I think that is the encapsulation of it. Patreon did not meet my expectations, and that's a bummer. It's not something that Patreon did wrong, objectively speaking. Subjectively speaking, I think they've done quite a few things wrong, but I recognize that's from my perspective. And so I decided it wasn't worth dealing with the changes every few months and having to go, oh, that's what we're doing now? Okay. Let me figure out how, if at all, I need to reshape my approach given that information. With the Empire's troops in hot pursuit, Bannon, Edgar, and Tina ride the rapids toward Narsh, but going won't be easy. I am on Ko-fi, for the record. I was going to have a link ready and then I forgot. I'm pretty easy to find though. Ko-fi.com? See, this is the problem. I haven't done my... Y'all? Am I going to be able to change their gear? That? Okay. Okay, that was a battle and I can access the menu after it. Huh. Interesting. I don't remember that being that tricky, but interesting. Okay. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not opposed to receiving money. Oh, a leather cap. Glamour doesn't rent to wear a damn thing. Video game. Oh, more damage. I don't think it was ever easy to find an audience on the internet and to make money as someone who makes things for people on the internet. And I think that if you do reach that level, then congratulations, you have reached something that maybe, like, if it's successful enough that you can say it's your job, you've done something that probably 1 out of 10,000 people who set out to do it accomplish. And I am extremely jealous. But it's something that I aspire to and that I'm not giving up on, but I'm also realizing is an incredibly steep road that I've been trying to work at for about a decade or so. And it's hard sometimes to feel like I'm making progress in that. Artistically, I feel like I've made a lot of progress. From building an audience online for the people, of people for my work. I've never felt like I was doing that the right way. And I don't know if there is a right way, but if there is, I ain't doing it, which is frustrating. We rested. Okay, good. Because anyone that I actually respect is going to say there is no one path to success and that they had a tremendous amount of luck along with their work along the way. But it is still very frustrating to be seemingly at the bottom of the mountain and looking up and being like, gee, it'd be neat to climb that. I have no idea how. And I do think bring it all around. I think that is why I enjoy Final Fantasy D12. Because this is a mountain that I can look at and say, that's no sensible person should try and accomplish this. But assuming I'm not soft locked in Final Fantasy VI, I can accomplish this goal. I can make progress on it. I tend this flock. Hey, now I told you not to go over there. You're such a handful, but that's the job, I suppose. Come back here, you woolly nuisance. Oh, they really wanted to show off their path walking mechanics. Okay. Do I need to walk that? I hope I don't. Wow, wow, wow. I can get Blizzaga? Yeah. Yeah, let's buy that in bulk. Oh my, how many years has it been since we've had visitors? Hardly anyone travels all the way out here. Let me tell you a secret. You know how chocobos love Geishel greens, right? Well, here's how to find the leader of the chocobo flock that lives in Chocobo Forest. Put a bushel of Geishel greens by the tree in the middle of the woods. If you're lucky, you may get a glimpse of that big fella. Let me tell you the exact same secret again. Hey! You can't just traipse all over my prized veggies. Humph! I say! What can I do for you? Here's a... How many do I need? Let's buy 10. Thank you. Ah, yeah, my KO'd allies were revived. I'm a dancer. Let me show you. Want to see me dance? No. Play the piano. How'd you like my routine? That chocobo can store up items in its tummy. Convenient, but so unhygienic. Okay. pretty good. I don't talk. I just walk back and forth every so often. Deal with it. No. No, I'm not gonna stay. I have a fuse. Is this not where I was supposed to go? Do I have like a site? Yes. I'm supposed to get there, but how do I get there? Oh, upper left. Okay. I'm building experience points. I'm building experience points. Let's go 8. Let's go 8. Caution, authorization required. Control panel is only a bit. You won't be able to stop the missiles. The emergency doors already sealed shut and can't go in. You guys should escape. Go blow up with the base. You can't just escape knowing the missiles will be fired. There's no way, not a chance. Why's that? That's because I'm doing it for everyone. Understood. I admire you. Listen, let me help you. You can adjust the missile coordinates on that control panel. Use my ID card to log in. The password is IDEA. Good luck. Received ID card. Verification complete. So glad I went for the most time. Systems online. Great. Maximum error ratio. I think target is already set. Yep. So glad I chose the longest time. This is confirm equipment, which means that I can't change it, I think. Those numbers don't really agree with each other, but okay. So there's still a 25% chance that all my friends are going to get blown up. Oh well. Oh. What are you doing here? Where do you come from? I've spent much time over the past few months thinking about what I wanted Patreon to be and how to achieve that, knowing that Patreon isn't doing the work. And these are not well edited thoughts, but they are thoughts. That's what the stream is. It's me throwing out ideas that might eventually become something more substantial, and also iterating some things I've been thinking about and have written down, but that lasted about 3 or 4 minutes. I feel like it's no surprise or secret to anyone that while being on the internet, the quote-unquote good old days of the internet never really existed. But there are a lot of things about the internet today that are getting worse and worse. And there are a lot of reasons for that, most of which point back to some form of corporate greed or corporate indifference because it's not economical to fix it, which is another form of corporate greed, I suppose. How's that HP doing? Yeah, it's fine.
Where there's smoke.
Something that I have firmly believed, and that was supposed to be a big part of Web 2.0, and kind of was, but has also fallen apart a lot since the advent of the algorithm running so many things, is that it is up to all of us, not just the quote-unquote influencers of the world, to tell those around us about the things that bring us joy and to not give oxygen to the things that do not, even if it is to mock or belittle. It's simply not worth it, and it is only fostering something that doesn't deserve it. I really hope we can get through these fights, because... Can I run? Good. Because those guys, if they both launch their special attack, suck. We'll try it. What? Had to turn on auto attack for a second and I don't know why. have a lot of questions right now. Yikes. Please don't use Fireball. Don't go using Fireball. You're gonna use Fireball. Okay. I should survive a Fireball. It's probably a mistake. Okay. That's fine. I do need the experience is the thing. But yeah, I think that is the summary. Since I'm stuck in this, I might as well talk. The premise of Web 2.0 was, instead of MSN.com or Yahoo or AOL or whoever else getting to decide what you see when you get onto the internet, but instead other users having that ability, is a beautiful idea. Taking the control out of just Corporation X, Y, and Z and democratizing it. I love that. The issue is that at a certain tipping point, that became not how things actually run anymore. And I think that some cries of shadow banning and the light are overstated, but it is an unavoidable truth that there are algorithms at play that feed off of hostile engagement that are what's the word I'm looking for? A feature, not a bug, in many of the sites that make up the current internet landscape, including this one, whether you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube. Controversy is the most surefire way to drive engagement, which drives views, which drives ad revenue, which means that people have more money to make the things that create more of the rage bait. And that's not all that happens, but it's a lot of what happens. and it's what bubbles up to the top. We're going to do 6 and then we're going to close for the night. And all of that, circling back around to where I just was, all of that to say, it's on all of us to share the neat stuff that we find with the people around us. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy a Marvel movie or a Taylor Swift album, but make sure that you're making room to find the weird stuff too. The stuff that's not being served to you by the algorithm. Because you're that Imperial officer from before. Please, I can explain. Get out of here now or you'll regret it. Let's not get hasty here. I'm King Edgar of Figaro. Liar! My goodness. And that, my friends, is why I can't stand men. It's like they don't even have ears. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. Okay, let's go in again. It didn't work. We got our stuff back. Okay. But the only way that things get better is if we get there together. Locke first rescued me. He came out of the mines right around here. He fiddled with something. Yes, he told me. Twist this stone like so, and... I don't remember if I'm actually supposed to go this way, but it feels right. The fact that there's dialogue for that makes it feel right. But we have to fight against the algorithm. We have to. It's a moral obligation. And that probably sounds hyperbolic, but I mean, it's been an issue for almost a decade now, if not longer, that people who want enough people to believe a certain thing can pay or could pay, and I assume still can, Meta or whoever else for a certain number of ads and probably drive an election. And that is not to say that the 2016 elections were fraudulent, because I'm certainly not going down that road. But what it speaks to is the power of information and the content that we consume. And I hate the word content, but I'm not going to give anything higher to the messages that are churned out and made into Facebook ads. It's, I think, one of our highest obligations, our collective highest obligation, is to find. Is this too high-minded? No. To find truth and to share it and venerate it, extol it, praise it, hype it up. Because if we don't do that, if we just sort of ignore it, especially the uncomfortable truths. Perhaps someone would say the inconvenient truths. If those just get swept under the rug, then I think that is the grimmest portent for humanity's future. And again, sounds hyperbolic, but. And it also sounds like I'm saying my comics are going to save the world if we take this in the bigger picture. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying that the same symptoms that make it hard to be an independent artist on the internet in this modern era are some of the same things that make it so easy for people who want to spread misinformation and disinformation to get away with it, which is that if you know how to play the algorithm, which is basically pay to win and enrage to win, if you know how to play that, you are going to get so much of people's attention that they don't have time for anything that isn't also being polished up and presented to them for the most part. And that sucks. But the answer isn't that sucks, end of statement. The answer is that sucks. Let's do something about it. And what we do about it is we share the things we like with each other. Which isn't hard. It does feel weird sometimes to be like, hey, here's this. I'm just going to hype myself up. Hey, here's this Twitch stream about someone who's playing through the first 12 mainline Final Fantasy games, except that 11 is 10-2 because 11 wouldn't work for the format. You should check it out and see if you like it. Or, hey, here's this comic about a cleric and a paladin who go on an adventure and things go extremely wrong very quickly. And also, it's pretty gay. Or, hey, here's this novel about a trans mermaid who runs away from home because she thinks that she is not the twin who is supposed to be the chosen one. And she becomes a pirate, and it's pretty gay. And you should check it out. It it's nice when other people risk the social awkwardness to do that. It is, and feel myself right on the edge. Am I going to get too real? Maybe. It's not something that I get a lot, and when I do, it is deeply meaningful to me. And there are enough people talking about whatever's going on with WandaVision or Taylor Swift. There really are. She's gonna be fine, y'all. We need the weird stories to get their moment in the sun. And I need to do better about seeking them out. That's another thing you can do, is to seek out those stories that resonate with you and to enjoy them and then to share them. I mean, certainly there's no need for Final Fantasy to get any more publicity than it has, but here I am playing this, but it's important to not just take what you're given, to expect more, because we deserve more. as a collective world society. We deserve to not have our desires and entertainment determined by an algorithm that's run by people who just want to increase their profit. We deserve more. And I think the first step is sharing the things that you find that you like. And when people recommend things to you, checking them out, which is something I need to be better about if we're going to be honest with one another. But that's where I am. Not the highest energy I've ever ended a stream with, but not the lowest actually. Yeah. We'll be back for another one of these in the future. Bye.